Today I'm taking on a casting that's at the top of many people's favorite list. The Hot Wheels Redline Ford Coupe. Don't go away. Hello friends and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. While it's not my all-time favorite, the classic 36 Ford Coupe is certainly one of my top 10 castings. I'm actually a bit surprised I haven't restored one yet, but today I will right that wrong. So today we are doing the 36 Ford Coupe. It is a fantastic car that has everything really that a car guy would love. What a great hot rod. And my poor little Coupe here, it's pretty beat up and it sure could use some love, so that's what we're going to do today. So I've never done one of these before, and worse, I only have this one. I don't know how that ever happened, but I only have this one. And frankly, it's in really bad shape. It's not a good candidate for this. There is substantial corrosion on the front of the base that covers the entire grille. The roof is a disaster. The nose of the body has a lot of corrosion damage. So I'm not entirely sure that this car is savable, but because it's the only one I have, I'm going to give it the old college try. So as always, we'll go ahead and start by taking the car apart. We drill out the post, pop the base off, and then we can get a real good look at what we have going. So I talked about the corrosion, but it does have a couple things good going for it. It's got a good piece of glass, interior's nice, the axles are fine. You know, all the component parts are here. The rumble seat is functional and present. You know, everything's there. So if I can get past that corrosion, we'll be okay. But that's a pretty big if right now. So I'm going to go ahead and drill out and tap out the posts and get them ready for screws so that I can put this thing back together later. And we'll go ahead and move on from there. So for this particular casting, both the base and the body are going to go for swims in the lime away mixture. I need to get rid of as much of the corrosion and things like that as humanly possible. So obviously the body has to be stripped first, so I'm going to do them separately, but they're both going to go for a swim to neutralize as much of this corrosion as possible before I really can get an idea of what I can and can't do here. Honestly, the grill is garbage. The base is garbage because of the grill. This is the perfect candidate to replace the base on. And honestly, I probably would not pick this car to do ever. But like I said, it's the only one I have, and I'm kind of in the middle of this, and I really don't want to just give up on it. But man, I sure wish I had, at the very least, I wish I had a replacement base here. Fortunately, by putting these cars back together with screws, if I'm really unhappy with it and I get another car like a donor car or a donor base, I can go back and switch this. But I am going to push forward and see just how good I can do here. Okay, so first order of business is to hit it with the brass bristle brush. If that doesn't work, then I will chuck up a brass wheel in my rotary tool and use that. But the idea here is I need to get rid of all of the dead material so I can get down to the real meat and see what I have to work with. And much to my surprise, after the brass bristle brush, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. It's far from perfect, but it's not terrible. I might be able to use this base. So at that point, I have decided that I'm going to push forward with this base, so I break out the Flitz, and now it's time to give it a good polish. Put a little Flitz down. I'll chuck up a buffing wheel, and I'm going to get this polished as good as I can get it. And then we'll go ahead and, at this point, what options do I really have? I don't have another car. So I can shove it to the side and give up, or I can keep working. So, I think I'm going to just keep pushing forward and do the best I can here. So after the Flitz, I go ahead and buff this out with a blue shop towel and then a microfiber towel and get it as shiny as I possibly can. Okay, so the body is a disaster, and it's been in the stripper. We can go ahead and pull it out and see what the metal underneath, what little paint there was left, what it looks like. It almost looks like this thing was just laying in some battery acid or something like that. Poor little car. Okay, so the casting is out of the stripper. It's been washed off, and I'm back. I can dry it off, and I can get a real good look at this. And honestly, it's going to have to be sanded, and sanded a lot, okay? The roof is a train wreck. So my initial notions of Spectraflame are diminishing. I thought maybe I could just get by and maybe use a darker Spectraflame color to hide some of the flaws. But I'm thinking now that I'm going to have to go with something opaque or something, which I really don't want to do. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I mean, seriously, look at this roof. Have you seen one like this before? I mean, it's terrible. Probably should just cut it off and make a convertible out of this thing. So into the limeway goes the body, and we'll see if that helps the situation out a little bit. So I guess you could say the limeway helped a little bit, but not much. Because honestly, this corrosion is bones deep, man. It's just bad. The brass bristle brush isn't even making it think about looking better. It's just terrible. This is gonna just need massive sanding. So after a bunch of sanding, really aggressive sanding I might add, I went ahead and threw some Tamiya Fine Primer on this and went ahead and set it to the side. Sadly, you can still see a lot of the damage, but I don't know that I can do much better than that. So while that's drying, I'm going to go turn my attention back to the base. I almost forgot that I needed to put some Renaissance wax on it to preserve it. So I'm going to take care of that issue, and then we can go ahead and address the wheels. You know, this Renaissance wax is working out to be fantastic for builds where you're going to have unprotected metal parts. Okay, so if your base or your motor is, you're going to polish it and then not put anything on it, seal it up with the Renaissance wax. All you got to do is just kind of rub it in really well all over the place, buff it off, and you're good to go. You can find Renaissance wax in the description below, or you can go to my Amazon store by going to www.amazon.com/shop/Paul Udelis. There I have everything broken down into categories, be it diecast or coin rings or paracording or what have you, and I've got links to all of my favorite products there. Honestly, the base came out way better than I had a right to expect. I'm going to go ahead and put some wheels on it, and I'm actually feeling pretty good about the way the base came out. Now, does that mean if I find a good donor base later, I won't change it? Well, honestly, what it means is at this point, I don't know, because that's how happy I am with where the base is. So I'm over at the paint job, and I'm worried, I'll be honest. Because, as I said, even in the primer, I can still see the outlines of where all the damage was on the roof. And so, yeah, I'm a little worried. But to that end, I've decided to go with a darker finish. I'm going to use Spectraflame Purple. And the goal is that darker color will help hide some of the flaws in this body. Now, how in the heck am I going to do a Spectraflame paint job on a car that's already in primer, you might ask? Well, the answer is I'm going to use Createx Quicksilver. And I'm going to put down a coat of that to bring back a metallic sparkle to the body before putting the Spectraflame paint down. And so hopefully that will give me a really good Spectraflame-y kind of knockoff finish here. Won't be exact, but it should be really close. So that's the plan. So after putting the Quicksilver on, it's really nice stuff to work with. It's already airbrush ready to go. You just squirt a little bit in there and just kind of mist your car, and it gets that twinkle back. Now I can go ahead and put on the purple. And what I am finding, though, is with the primer and the Quicksilver, that the Spectraflame Purple is coming out a much lighter hue than if you just take that purple and put it on the ZMAC, the zinc-coated casting. So, yeah, it's going to take several coats to get the depth of that purple that I want, but hopefully it will work out in the end. Okay, so here's where I'm at. The paint just isn't working. The roof still looks like hell. And there's really just nothing else I can do about it. Now, the paint job itself is beautiful. Okay? The purple came out amazing. Even without a clear coat finish on it. It doesn't need one. It's so glossy and so beautiful. And I love the hue. Everything about it I love except the roof. The roof is pure garbage. It's a dumpster fire, okay? It's terrible. And I don't know that there's anything I can do for it except this. This is what I'm going to try. I had previously decided not to put the black square on the roof. Okay, that's how these came. They came with that little black square on the roof. I'm going to use some of that super black or ultra black or whatever it's called from, not Bright Vision, from the Redline shop. They sell that really dense black paint, and I'm going to mask off the roof. I'm going to paint that little black square that is on all of these Ford Coupes. I'm hoping that flat black square will hide the anomalies in the roof and make this something I can be happy with and proud of. So I'm not going to show you how the roof come out, okay? I'm going to wait for the glamour shots, and then I'm going to let you be the judge whether or not this worked, okay? You're going to get to make the call. Put it in the comments down below what you think about how it came out. But suffice it to say, I put the black square on, and it's dry, and now I can go ahead and put the car back together. I dare say, no matter what you end up thinking about how the roof worked out, I think this car has come out way better than I ever had a right to expect. So, the car's together, everything's dry. All I need to do is paint in the rumble seat and some taillights, and I can call this project as done as it can be. How's that sound? All right, let's take a look at the finished product and make sure you let me know what you think of how the roof came out. Well, there you have it, my fantastic Ford in a beautiful purple. I seriously thought about putting this one to the side halfway through before steeling myself up and refusing to be a quitter. I'm glad I picked it back up because it looks amazing, in my opinion. I hope you love it too. And if you do, please give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to squash the notification bell so you never miss one of my Redline restorations. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. So that should do it for today. Anytime you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.